kinky.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird, bird.
Hey, yeah, beautiful hair.
Hello, each and every one of you. Glad to see you. It is Beautiful Friday, so that means everything today will be Friday and Florida related. That's right, a little bit of both. Matter of fact, this just happened just a little bit ago with Judge Mercer. I hope everybody's enjoying the weather as much as I am. It's beautiful here. I mean, it's like 78. Says we got a record high coming today. Sunny. I can't believe how nice it is. Good to see everybody, though. Okay, checking in. Pass. Lola. Let's go ahead and get this party underway. Don't forget to KCC's here. I didn't even see her. Don't forget to like. There you go. Don't forget to like the video. Maybe comment. Remembering tonight, 5:30 Eastern Time, members only on the beautiful Credence and Mikey channel. I hope you join me for that, as I will be taking care of business with my own two hands. RLS, good to see you. Hey, Jesus made it. Good to see you, Jesus. HW, wow, Judge Mercer really taking his time. Let's get this party started. Hey.
Good morning, everyone. We're here for first appearances, January 26th. Excuse me, 8:26 a.m. I'm Wade Mercer. I'm the county judge in Jackson County. On your screen, you're going to see one of the two attorneys involved in the first appearance process. The other attorney is already at the jail, Mr. John McDaniel, the assistant public defender, and the prosecutor's in the courtroom. I'm going to ask that she introduce herself.
Here. I hope you are okay. Pass. That sounds scary. Yes, on two hands.
Framer, on behalf of the state.
Thank you. Corporal, can you see and hear both of us?
Yes, sir, we can.
And have you had a chance to play the first appearance video?
Yes, sir.
Great. We've got friends and family here on Mr. Hill, Jatoran Hill. Let me see him first.
Get over here.
We have parents, grandparents.
Chris without the fur.
Just various family members. Mr. Hill, you've got several family members in the courtroom. I just want you to know, to be aware that you do have some family here. You've been accused of 2 counts of lewd and lascivious battery, Mr. Hill. Those are second-degree felonies. There is probable cause in the complaint for those 2 charges, Mr. Hill. I believe the criminal history I've got shows no prior criminal history. Mr. Hill, how old are you?
19.
Are you employed? Are you a student? Or neither or both?
No, sir, neither.
Okay, so what do you do all day if you're not a student and you don't have a job?
Nothing. Don't do nothing. Yeah, that Vince McMahon stuff that's coming out right now is just insane. Insane. I don't know how the guy's not going to end up in prison. But money talks, and you know the rest of it. This guy's got some pretty serious charges. Oh, you wore your sweatshirt today. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually ordered some merch that I'll be wearing during the show, and probably next week or so. So thank you for doing that. Guys in truck, you're just a little premature. Can one more time? Thank you, Chris, with the 5 gifts. 5 more people will be joining us tonight. Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
I was trying to look for another job, actually.
Oh yeah, looking for jobs.
Did you graduate high school?
Yes, sir.
When?
2 years ago.
So have you had a job at all since you got out of high school?
Yes, sir.
Doing what?
Okay. And when's the last time you worked?
Probably about 4 or 5 months ago.
What happened with that job?
I called out one day.
Okay.
He called out a lot, I bet. More than once. Not just one time. But, you know, we'll see.
All right. Mr. McDaniel, anything on behalf of Mr. Hill I need to be aware of?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
It's very true, John.
Your Honor, the state requests no contact with the child victim.
Oh.
Okay. So, Mr. Hill, you're accused of 2 second-degree felonies. You're not going to get a conditional release, even more so if you don't have a job and you're not in school. I'm going to set you a bond. in these two cases. Mr. McDaniel, would he prefer a cash bond or a surety bond?
Let me ask him real quick.
Oh, we don't know what he wants. We'll find out though. Erica, good to see you. While they're asking him, we'll say thank you to Kitchen Court Chats for
While
joining.
Mr. McDaniel's explaining that, the difference is this: if I post him a surety bond, say of $10,000 each,
Right.
that means if he gives $2,000 to a bondsman, it's gone, spent. He doesn't get it back. On the other hand, if I take that same $2,000 he would normally pay a bondsman, and I set a cash bond in the amount of $2,000, what happens is if the case is dismissed, it's returned to whoever posted it. If it's dismissed, if the case is not dismissed, then that money goes to pay towards court costs, fines, or restitution. So that's what Mr. McDaniel is talking to him about. Mr. McDaniel,
Your Honor, he'd like a cash bond.
Thank you.
I'm gonna set you $1,000 cash bond in each count. It's a $2,000 cash bond. So you post $2,000, he'll be released immediately. And again, that money's held by the clerk of court until you see how the case turns out. And if it's dismissed, it's returned to whoever posted it. Okay. The family have any questions?
Working on a Maori elevator for Anderson, Columbia. He had a job during the summer when he got out of high school. So he has work, and it's a Maori elevator job. He was going back and forth. They were doing a lot of work down south.
Right.
And I think he kind of got homesick being so young and being away from home all the time. But he's a really good kid. We volunteered. I took him to the sheriff's office when we heard that he had more positions, I think, on January 8th. And we just heard about it yesterday, so we immediately took him to volunteer.
I don't think he's a flight risk. I have no reason to think that. But I do think if he's not working and he's not in school, he's going to get in trouble. And evidence of that is that he's in an orange jumpsuit right now. Maybe the best thing you can do for him as his friends and family is get him a job. Or if he don't have a job, maybe he needs to go out and find him a place to live and support himself.
Damn.
Work. Mr. Hill, that family.
Tough love. I agree. Tough love. And for the family to come back with the excuse that he lost his job because he was homesick. Yeah, I don't know about that. And remember to go pick up your merch right down below. Anything and everything you can think of, even a new We Got a Chase shirt. We got case shirts coming. You don't want to miss it. Pick up your Scissor Club for life.
Scissor me, daddy!
Your family posts a bond for you, you'll be released immediately. My suggestion is you get a job. You have a condition of absolutely no contact with either of the alleged victims. Now, in this complaint, there's an alleged victim name, but there's reference to another young lady that was supposedly with y'all that night. So no contact with either of those young ladies. Is the family requesting a condition of no contact with the co-defendants or the other two guys that were with them?
Oh my God.
So there's going to be a condition, no contact with the two gentlemen who are accused. I haven't seen, Ms. Bremer, do you know if there's complaints on them or there warrants, or do you know anything about those two cases?
I do not have information on that. no.
The other two males that are accused of being involved in this, you have no contact with them either. Yeah. You need to find your new group of friends if they're leading you down this path, or if you're leading them. I have no idea, but you need to find your new group of friends because y'all got some very serious charges.
I apologize, Your Honor. They are Skylar Adams and Thurston Levitt Johnson.
No contact with those two individuals. Mr. Hill, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, so if y'all post the money, he'll be released. And again, it's held until we see how the case is resolved, okay? Thank y'all for coming. Wish you the best, Mr. Hill.
We'll
Sir, are you
discuss
here
some of
for
that
first
Vince
appearance
McMahon
case?
stuff during
What case
members
are you
only,
here
by
for?
the way.
Mandy Wilbur and your relationship, sir?
Good to see you, Pew Pew Sue.
Are you the alleged victim? Ms. Wilbur, good morning. Ms. Wilbur, you're here for first appearance, ma'am. You've been
Wilbur.
accused of one count of misdemeanor battery. The alleged victim is in the courtroom. Ms. Wilbur, there is probable cause in the case. I looked at your criminal history, ma'am. It looks like you have no prior criminal history. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But you're only charged with a misdemeanor offense, Ms. Wilbur. So it's a big difference in what I have in the last case. That gentleman had no prior history either. Sir, do you want to be heard? Come on up, please, so I can place you under oath.
Oh, she beat up a
I'll be
guy.
glad to
Oh
listen
no.
to you.
It happens, dudes. Nothing to be ashamed of. If a woman lays
Raise
hands
your
on
right
you,
hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the
Nothing you
testimony
can
about
do.
giving this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you. And your name again?
My name is Micah Schultz.
Mr.
Micah.
Schultz, I read the complaint, and the complaint talked about a prior,
Oh,
some type of protection order that expired, and then y'all tried to reunite, and then she ends up getting arrested. Is that accurate?
What it was is she had grabbed my firearm and threatened to commit suicide, was in the next room over from our daughter, who's just over a year old, and was racking rounds through the gun.
This is the old case you're talking about.
And, last year, on October 6th, I had to file an injunction against her of protection. She did start to see a counselor, and she acted much better on the phone. But now that we've gotten together again, I dropped the injunction because I was under the understanding that she was going to be better. And instead of turning against herself to try to hurt me, now she's turned against me and our daughter.
Oh,
And
no.
she's become quite vindictive. And I love her with all my heart. And it breaks me, but I have to defend my daughter. And I will not let her live in a house where she's going to be around a screaming mother who can't control her anger.
Okay.
Whoa, this got heavy real quick. Fluffy, good to see you. Wow. Before we dig into that, pew pew sue. Hallelujah. Almost hit the wrong button. It was almost said bullshit. Yikes. Welcome. If you want to become a member, hit the join button. First and foremost, before we even talk about what he just said, if you have ever or you're dealing with anything right now that makes you think about harming yourself or harboring anyone else, there are resources out there for you. Find those resources. Do not, under any circumstances, hurt yourself. You're only going to hurt others when you hurt yourself. May not be putting hands on them, but you're hurting them. Don't do it. Email me. I'll talk to you. It doesn't matter. Find someone to talk to. Get yourself some help because it's there and it's okay to ask for help. Okay. That said, that guy's, I feel very bad for that guy because there's a child involved as well. All right. And of course, you got loud of us coming in here and telling them, pull it together, man. Quit being a wuss.
Sorry. It's okay. Do you live together before she got arrested? Y'all live together. Where?
At 3070 Carter's Mill Road at Three Rivers Apartments.
That's an apartment complex. Okay. And what are you asking me to do
Florida
today?
I need enough time to be able to file an injunction again against her, protection for myself and my daughter, and to get the remaining of my items out of my home. I've already spoken with our apartment complex manager, and they're 100% behind me. They want to do whatever it takes to make sure that our daughter Ella is safe. So I'm going to be signing myself and Ella off of the lease. Mandy will not be homeless. She will have her own home. I have a great system that CPS has already inspected and says is a great home for Ella. I have family and it's a whole support system.
So you will have a place to go once it gets approved. She'll have a place to go once you get out and get you somewhere else.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not until then.
And I know that the office closes at 5, but I spoke with them and they said that if I give them the keys, that Miss Wilbur just needs to go and pick up the keys from them. And that when another 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment becomes available, they'll just ask her to relocate from our 3-bedroom apartment into that one. So, Your Honor, what I'm requesting is no contact between myself, and our daughter. That way we don't have to worry about any more abuse or her trying.
How old is your daughter?
She's 16 months old.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
We need just enough time today for me to file the injunction as well as to remove the last of my belongings.
Okay.
And I don't want her just to sit in jail. I just want a good life for my daughter, and I want to be safe. I want her to be safe and not to be raised in a home where it's appropriate to yell, scream, throw, and break things.
Okay. Ms. Bremer, do you have any questions for Mr. Schultz?
Mr. Schultz, you did sustain a concussion from the incident.
I did. Your Honor, she's given me a concussion, which I'm still suffering from the effects of, as well as a contusion to my right hand and damage to my elbow. I've had an X-ray on my elbow and my hand, and it just shows the contusion. And I had a CT scan on my neck as well as my head. There's no brain bleeding, but I do have a concussion. Another thing is that I genuinely fear for my daughter and my safety. because she's become so vindictive and because she's turned against me.
I'm not going to keep her away from her daughter when her daughter's not the alleged victim. Okay, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Let me finish. I've listened to you for quite a while. Let me finish. I will keep her away from you, but you can't use a criminal case with a non-victim as a tool for family law issues. This needs to go to family law court or possibly injunction court. So there's not going to be a condition of no contact with your daughter. There will be a condition of no contact with you. Anything else you think I need to know?
Just that girl come over here with $2. Yes, remembering not loan down 988. That's a very good sentiment. And what a better way to communicate than through sending me money. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. And Chloe, great news about your new leg. I am so happy to hear you got something better so you can get out there and strut your stuff once again. That's great stuff.
There actually was not last night, the night before last, after I was hit with the door, I was trying to get away with Ella, and she was cranking on Ella's car seat, shaking her back and forth. So not only was Ella being in the presence of all the yelling, but she was physically being shaken. I had my arm wrapped around the handle of her car seat and was trying to remove it so she wouldn't be shaken. And that's where I sustained the damage to my elbow.
Okay.
And that's why I feel that she's a danger to Ella.
Okay. I am not going to put a condition of no contact with your daughter based upon this complaint because it's not legally justified. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Okay, you can have a seat then.
Damn.
Miss Wilbur, do you have somewhere else you can go
Shut
other than
him
that
down.
apartment, ma'am?
I guess I could go stay with my grandma, but that's an hour away and my job is right next to my apartment.
Okay.
Oh,
In that event, I'm going to set you a bond, ma'am. Your bond's $2,500. Your bond has a condition of absolutely no contact with Mr. Schultz. It's cash or surety, Miss Wilbur. You do have the right to post a bond. You also got the right to go through a bond. So Mr. McDaniel, would she prefer a cash bond? Would you like to ask her about that?
I did. No, we would prefer a cash bond, Your Honor.
Ms. Bremer, any objection to that?
No objection.
In that event, it's going to be a $250 cash bond, no contact with Mr. Schultz. That means
Hope he's got
yes,
it.
as long as he's in that apartment, you cannot go there, period. If you have clothing there, you need to contact law enforcement for guidance on getting your clothing out of the apartment. They'll give you some guidance on that. Once he's gone from the apartment, if the department manager and complex is okay with it, you could go there, but not until he's gone. I'm not getting involved into a custody dispute with a non-victim child that's 16 months old. What that means is if you and he work something out through a third party about child custody or child visitation, that's between y'all. If not, you and he both need to see attorneys on the family law issue, but that's not something we're going to get involved with in criminal court when the child's not a victim. The child is, as far as I know, I don't even know if the child's aware of what happened given the child's age. I have no idea. But the child clearly is not a victim in this case, and you can't use criminal court as a means to circumvent family law, which is what I'm concerned might be happening. Ms. Wilbur, do you have any questions?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Okay. Sir, do you have any questions?
I don't know. What would I?
Okay. Sir, do you have any questions?
Doug.
Okay. So certainly if you want to seek an injunction, you can go downstairs and start that process. And that judge will decide whatever he or she wants to do. You have a question? It's no problem. It's no problem. It's just that you can't, if you're the alleged victim, that's what the complaint alleges. I can't keep her away from her child because you're the alleged victim, even if the child was there, unless the child was somehow harmed or in danger. The complaint alleges a struggle between both of you that possibly put the child in danger, where you were trying to take the child from her at one point, and then at one point she's trying to take the child from you. That's what the complaint says. So I don't think it's appropriate to use criminal court to keep her away from her child. You need to go to the family law court. Okay.
I mean, we hear these kinds of things all the time. Not saying that this is the case here, but we hear it all the time where that kind of thing happens. One parent will use a TPO or a PPO to keep the other parent away. KC, not keeping you away with that. Happy Friday as well. Hallelujah.
Wish you the best. I wish you the best, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Which case is Alexa Everett?
I hope this lady wasn't as wild as the last one. Ooh.
Miss Everett, good morning. You're here for first appearance accused of one count of grand theft. Miss Everett, I read the complaint and initially.
Sweet Tea? Sweet Tea, you here? Her.
am not convinced there's probable cause, but I want to give Mr. McDaniel and Ms. Bremer a chance to be heard on that issue. Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state filed an information December, I believe it was the 21st, that alleges the value of the item at 750 or greater.
What'd
Okay.
she steal?
Have a complaint or anything under oath sworn that's based upon?
It's a lot of money.
The
Filing of an
Big and
information
heavy.
by a prosecutor does not establish probable cause. The court still has to make an independent verification of probable cause. Now, the information, when the prosecutor signs it, it says that they have received under oath evidence of the crime. That's what the information says at the bottom. So the prosecutor says they received it, but the prosecutor hasn't provided it to me. So I have to make an independent determination. So the officer thinks apparently that it's still $300 or more for and it's supposed an iPad. I have no idea the value of an iPad in a pawn shop.
Oh, in a pawn shop? Pawn shop iPads? Can't be worth more than $9.99. Thank you so much, Cleo. Look. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're here to serve. It's a public service. Me and Creed are both on probation. This is what we're doing for our community service. Thank you. You keep going. You keep going.
But there's a difference in 300 and 750, which is the current law. It's been the law for a couple of years.
Way different.
So is there any under oath evidence that you're aware of, Ms. Bremer, of the value of the iPad?
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Everett, a few years ago, the law was grand theft was $300 or more. That changed a couple of years ago. This
Holy crap.
officer still used the number $300 and said the iPad was supposedly worth more than that. That hasn't been the law in a couple of years. The legislature changed it to $750. So the officer obviously thinks it's going by the old law. He cites the right statute number, but he uses the wrong law. So I don't know that there's probable cause for grand theft.
I don't see.
I have no idea what he used iPad's worth, but I doubt it's worth $750.
Yeah, no
Mr.
way.
McDaniel?
Judge, I think the state's probably going to agree that we just asked for a misdemeanor bond set on the case. I think I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I don't think that an iPad is going to be worth more than $750 because they sell them brand new. They were all over Amazon for $750 just a month ago, but a brand new one may cost a little bit more than $750, but I think they'll have to work that out. We just asked for a misdemeanor bond or something.
Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, there actually was a written signed
Hey,
complaint
Matt.
submitted with the offense report that came in after the affidavit of complaint
Okay.
that alleges the value.
Is that in the clerk's office? It's in the clerk's file, I mean?
I will.
Oh
see.
God, yeah.
I was looking at
Supersized.
the state attorney's office.
Is it an incident report or is it an amended complaint?
It is the offense report.
If it's an incident report, it's not signed or sworn. If it's a complaint, it is. And it's not in the clerk's file, either way.
So what the computer, what
It
no,
was that right there, sir. It's right there.
Oh, I like her
Only thing
voice.
in the clerk's docket is a complaint and it says $300 or more.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah,
If you got something that's sworn, I'd love
I
to
think
see
the
it
pawn
now.
shop trying to make a couple
I
extra bucks.
Your Honor, if I may approach and show you this letter, I believe it would have been sworn to the deputy, but I don't have.
Is there sworn,
It's okay.
is there a notary block on there? Or is there a signature by another officer saying it's sworn? Because an incident report is normally not sworn.
It is. The letter I'm referring to is signed by Will Arnett.
He runs the pawn shop.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will Arnett? Isn't that the actor? My God, he has fallen on hard times. $1,200 for new. I haven't priced iPads, but I have been to pawn shops. I know pawn shops, yeah, I mean, it could be anything wrong with that thing. Go and buy one for $700. But you know what you can buy for less than $700? 10 memberships. Matt Dreamweaver, making dreams come true for 10 people at 5:30 today. Make sure you join me, won't you? Thanks, Matt.
And it discusses what he observed
What does it get a value? Does it give a value of the?
There's a sticker at the top with $759.99 that he affixed to the top of his letter.
Okay, so the question then is that's sufficient if it's sworn. So is that sworn?
I think he's trying to gouge her. I don't believe it.
I don't see that in the report without watching the body cam, Your Honor. I can't say for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna, there's certainly probable cause for theft. So I'm gonna find probable cause for theft at this point. If the state does want to charge this, they've got to file something to justify the felony charge. Otherwise, the felony can't go forward. The problem you have is it appears you're on probation for theft, not only in Holmes County, but also Washington County. Is that right?
No, sir, just in Holmes.
You're not on probation
gotta
out of
pay
Washington County?
No, sir, I had to pay a $550 fine by August 1st, which my mother is in the process of paying now.
Okay, so last week, or week before last, you resolved your Washington County case, but that was not probation. That was just a fine. Is that right?
Correct. That's what I
Yes, sir.
saw.
It was a fine, yes, sir,
And
$550.
you were not on probation when this charge supposedly occurred in October, correct?
No, sir, I was not. I had signed probation November the 5th, and then they
Yeah.
had picked me up
Yes,
on these
Bob.
charges right after I signed for probation,
Okay.
but this was going
So-
on before my probation.
So given the charges of petty theft and given the fact that you now have 3 different counties accusing you of theft, 2 of which you've been convicted of, I'm gonna set your bond at $10,000 cash or surety for this misdemeanor offense because you've got a horrible history of theft in 3 different counties all at the same time. You've got a condition, no contact with the alleged victim, which is the pawn shop, and a $10,000 bond. Any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Makes my
Have a
heart feel
good
good
day.
to have all those new members like that. It's awesome. Not only are you giving something to me, and
Janitha
Creed,
Jerome.
you're giving something to your fellow viewers. Fam. Oh, look at that hair.
Good morning. You're here for first appearance accused of a failure to appear in Jackson
Yeah,
County. case
beautiful hair.
23-403 CF. It's a failure to appear for an arraignment date. It has no bond on it. You're going to be held with no bond until you can get to circuit court and see Judge Garcia, who's got this case, who issued the warrant. And we'll see if
Yeah, he's
Mr.
pretty
McDaniel,
tight.
anything else I need to be aware of?
No, Your Honor.
When is
Mr.
that
Rome,
court
any
date?
questions?
I
When
would,
is that
I
court date?
advise it should be on the next arraignment docket. I don't know when that is though, so.
How do I
Okay,
find
I'm
out?
sorry. I couldn't hear you, Mr. Rome. You started saying something.
I asked, when is my next court date?
Okay.
Or how would I
And
know?
Mr. McDaniel, were you able to answer that? Because I don't know.
I was not because she'll be on the next arraignment docket and I don't know when that is, but,
Let's see, we may be able to answer that question. What's the February date? And I can probably tell you if they cut off.
I mean, they told me February 6th.
Yeah, you should make the cutoff for February 6th because the cutoff is usually, it may be today.
Maybe today, and today is also hallelujah. I hope and pray that maybe that got to Kenya because she was not very happy that she'd lost it. Did you find it, Kenya?
But you should make the cutoff for February 6th. On the docket for February 6th to get arraigned. Any questions?
No, that's it.
All right, have a good day. We
Did you really
have Jeremy Katie.
Miracles happen every day,
Katie, good
kids.
morning, Mr. Katie. You've been accused of 4 charges. They are possession of drug paraphernalia, 5 charges, 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, criminal mischief between $200 and $1,000, and trafficking in MDMA. And I have some probable cause questions on that case, on the trafficking case, certainly. So let me see if Ms. Bremer would like to be heard on that.
Your Honor, with regard to the paraphernalia and the controlled substance without a prescription, I believe those are clearly expressed. There is not an amount shown for the damage in the criminal mischief, although damage is certainly alleged, as well as the trafficking in MDMA. The state would request 24 hours to have the complaint amended for these 2 charges.
So, Mr. McDaniel, I don't mind holding him, and with his history, I'm going to hold him until tomorrow, and then the weekend judge has to deal with it. On the other hand, if you want me to go ahead and set him a bond for trafficking, I'll be glad to do that. But you know what a trafficking bond normally is.
It's going to be
Correct.
high.
We'll just wait till
They
tomorrow,
allege
Your
the
Honor.
amount. They allege the amount, the weight of the drugs. They don't. She never says. I guess it's a she. The officer never says how they determine it was meth. I'm going to assume they may have done a some kind of field test, but I cannot assume that for probable cause purposes. They've got to put it in the complaint. It never says how he or she determined it to be meth. So
Was
would
it
he
very clear
prefer
how
we go
they-
ahead and set a bond? Sir?
Was it very clear how they ever determined that it was his? They found it in the bathroom, but I mean, I never heard anything saying that
Yeah.
we've seen him with this and.
Once they got it, no, all that says is once they got him back to the hospital staff identified him as a person who had been in the bathroom and had damaged the bathroom and supposedly left the pack. So, that's all I've
So did he
got.
like go crazy? Like
We'll just-
tripping?
Well, I think it's probably in his best interest to wait till tomorrow and just see what the officer amends it
So-
to.
Thank you. So, Ms. Bremer, there's issues with two charges. Number one, you've already mentioned that criminal mischief, they have to allege the damage or it's presumed to be the lowest degree crime, which would be less than $200. Secondly, if it's MDMA, let me look at this. I thought it said meth.
I thought it said meth in there too, but.
Well, which is it?
It does say meth. So why does my jail sheet say MDMA?
On the charging sheet, Your Honor, the last charge that's listed, it says trafficking in MDMA, and then it lists out a couple of substances, 10 grams or more.
Isn't meth 15 grams? Maybe I don't know. So there's no
Who
probable
knows?
cause. They need to clarify what the substance is because MDMA is not the same as meth.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, and then secondly, how do they identify the substance? Was there a field test done? She needs to put it in there.
Somebody
And
tried it.
thirdly, I've never seen this. Now they have a new system at that agency. So this may be the result of their new system.
So let me ask you this. Why in the world did you carve Creed's head? Is it because his is easier than this beautiful face? I'm just curious. He don't have glasses? Slightly jealous. Slightly jealous.
They printed the complaint front and back, which could be problematic for the clerk's office because if the clerk's office is not aware of that, it's going to scan every other page and the complaint in the official docket's not going to be accurate. So I need the officer to
Way different.
adjust the settings on his or her printer so they don't print front and back.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what's going to happen, Mr. Katie, is you're going to see the weekend judge
Yes, ask
tomorrow,
him.
and they're going to see if they fix the complaint. If they have, that judge will decide what bond to set in your case. If they haven't fixed the complaint, that judge will decide what to do with your case then. There is probable cause for 2 of the charges, 3 of the charges. There's just not, you can't identify methamphetamine nor MDMA visually unless you have a lot of experience and you explain in the complaint how you're doing that. Normally, it requires a field test to
Ecstasy is
identify
what
those
they say.
substances. Mr. Katie, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Have a good day, sir. You'll see the judge tomorrow.
Judge said I can do tons of MDMA and be fine, but let me do some meth. It's over with, son.
Robert Gass. Mr. Gassy, good morning. Mr. Gassy, Mr. McDaniel's added you on the docket today to
Father Tom has arrived. I'm giving you a bunch of crap, tons of fun. I think that's really cool. I'm very interested to see what it looks like. I'll check it out for sure. I got to go seize it. Any guesses on what this old feller did? He looks a little too old to be out there chasing wormins. Oh, absolutely, Vicky. Absolutely. You ain't got to worry about that as long as I'm here.
see if we can make some progress in your case. I believe, I think that's what's happening. I'm going to ask you to listen to Mr. McDaniel, and we're going to see where we stand, sir.
Your Honor, we were at first appearance the other day and Ms. Bremer had objected to a conditional release. I've spoken with her and we communicated about the case, about the specifics of the case and everything, and also about his health conditions that he's having. And we were going to ask, I think she is going to withdraw that, that basically not having conditional release. And we would ask the court to maybe allow him to get out on conditional release and give notice to appear for the court date that's coming up.
There was a lady here that day,
Yes, Your Honor.
and I think one of my concerns was his
Really?
having somewhere to go.
Yes, Your
Wow.
Honor.
Does he have somewhere to go now?
I do not.
Hey, it's still a
actually
prospector.
have his wife's contact information, so I have not been able to reach out to her about whether or not he could go home or not. She is not a party to this incident, though.
DUI.
Mr.
Yeah.
McDaniel, Mr. Goodson, I don't know if you can hear him. He's not sitting by the microphone, but what he said is, does Mr. Gasty have the ability to comply with the terms of conditional release based upon the text messages and the request for evaluation from life management?
Yeah, he can. I think there's some dementia issues probably going on with him.
Oh, you think?
He's elderly. I don't see no reason why he's perfectly, he just said some things that I think they're, questionable. But I see some dementia issues with him. I don't see no issue why he can't comply with conditional release order. And I do
Did you
have,
get a
I don't
copy?
know.
I'd spoken to his wife, Mayor,
Sure.
and I know Judge Mercer had asked for life management to do an evaluation, and Judge Mercer may know. Did they do an evaluation and did they send you a report?
I don't get a copy of the report. They kind of give me an analysis, in words on what it is speaking to me. But she told me was basically he had some dementia, possibly Alzheimer's issues, and there was no issue as far as a Baker Act.
That's what your text said. He did not qualify for Baker Act, right, Mr. McDaniel?
Correct.
Well,
So, Mr. Gasty, my question for you is this, sir. When I asked you if you had who you lived with that day at your first appearance, you said, unfortunately, your wife. So I want you to, if you don't have a safe place to go, I need to know that because we got to look for other options. Is your plan to go back home where your wife resides?
Yes, I've lived there 30 years. I should be able to go home.
Okay. Do you understand? And she's not the victim in the case. It's a DUI case and a paraphernalia case, so I don't have a problem with that. My
paraphernalia?
question then is, do you have the ability to comply with a conditional release? Do you understand what that means?
Not particularly, but I got the ability, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm sure that I feel confident Mr. McDaniel's explained to you a conditional release. Can you explain to me what conditional release means?
Oh,
Do you know what it means?
no cheating.
Where you
No
have-
cheating. No cheating. He's telling them right now. He's cheating, Judge. This isn't fair. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, I guess the best place for him is back with his wife,
What do you
right?
have to do?
Call in once a week,
Call in once a week. How much the fees cost each month?
$30.
$30. You're not supposed to drive a vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license.
Well, I got a valid driver's
They were
license.
suspended when this DUI happened, I'm sure.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to drive.
You're not supposed to drive.
Okay,
You go see the DMV and talk to them about your driver's license.
okay.
Mr.
get
Gassi,
a
you also need to
chauffeur.
understand, Mr. Gassi, listen to me. You cannot possess or consume alcohol on a conditional release. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also understand you're going to be drug tested also. Do you understand that?
Yes,
I wonder what drugs he
Lastly,
was on.
do you understand that if you violate any of the conditions of your conditional release, your conditional release can be violated, revoked, and you can go to jail with no bond. Do you understand all of that?
yes,
And you do want to accept the conditional release knowing that those are the terms. Is that right?
that's right.
Ms. Bremer, do you feel like he can comply with the conditional release?
Yes, Your
Maybe.
Honor.
The state in agreement with that?
Yes,
I
Your
was
Honor.
thinking
Okay, my
maybe.
memory is you've had nothing in the last 30 years except something from perhaps 09. That was a probation that you successfully completed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the option of conditional release as opposed to the bond that I already set you the other day. And if you want to accept the conditional release, as long as you comply with those conditions, that's fine. We're also going to give you a notice for your next court date when you get here, which will be February the 5th at 9 a.m. We'll give you that
Harry, you're
notice.
still young. You're doing all right.
Okay,
Okay, I think the jail may already have one for you. So, Mr. Gassi, it's important that you comply with the conditional release, okay? Any questions?
yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Kitson?
Mr. Gasdy, do you have someone that could
Mr.
pick you up at the courthouse? Do you have transportation? Can I call
Yes,
your
sir.
wife or? Who
No, I
would that
don't want
be?
to call my wife.
Don't call her.
I have somebody out there waiting, I believe.
Steele?
I think you're gonna need to call his wife, Stacy. I mean, he told me he's talking to people now, but I don't have any record of him making phone calls out of here. So
Well, I didn't have no phone numbers.
then why'd you tell me you were talking to somebody?
Well, it was another inmate.
I was doing smoke signals, I tell you.
I think
Supposed to pick me up.
the
So,
inmate's
Mr.
wife.
McDaniel, can you get his wife's number from him so I can
I
contact
have it
her?
right here for you, Mr. Stacy.
What-
You mean,
just
I'll
text-
text it to Stacy.
Yeah, don't
Yes,
say
sir.
it over here. Everybody in the
If it
chat
has
be
to
calling her.
I'll deal with my wife.
Okay, you just got to deal with her, okay?
Yes,
Mr. Gassi, I'm concerned about you getting, if she,
Mr.
The
Gaff.
other day when she was at the courtroom, I don't know that she was really, I don't know that she can't keep you away from the home, obviously. She's not an alleged victim, but she hasn't posted bond for you. We'll leave it at that. So I don't want you to get to the courthouse up here and not having transportation to your home. Where do you live at?
Cottondale.
Okay. His conditional release is contingent upon someone telling us that he has transportation, Mr. McDaniel. So he's got to have
Not just that,
transportation
place to
set up
stay, too.
before he leaves that jail. I'm not going to take a chance on him coming to the courthouse and being stuck here with him living in Cottondale. So if someone calls Mr. Goodson and says, "Hey, I'll pick him up," that's all it's going to take. Otherwise, his conditional release is conditioned upon that. Go ahead, Mr. McDaniel.
Judge, I just got some more information from the jail that the wife, she did come up here and try to bond him out, but he has the money in his accounts and he would not release
The money's all
belongings to her.
Confederate.
So so she actually has been trying to bond him out and trying to find the money, but the bank accounts, he has them in his wallet, which are here and he won't release them to her.
Okay. So if you want to get a conditional release, you've got to show Mr. Goodson with a conditional release office that you've got transportation. As soon as that's done,
You
Mr.
don't even
Goodson will
let his
ask
wife
Miguel to bring
touch
you
the
up,
money.
Mr. Gasty, okay?
Yes, sir.
I can't let my money grubbing wife touch my bank cards. That.
Is that everything on your list, Mr. Bremer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sissy, do you have anything else today?
Here, she was,
Okay, yep. That's one of the ones that's for set for trial. So, Mr. McDaniel, that's it on the first appearance docket, as far as I know. Anything else from the public defender's office on the first appearance docket?
Anything?
No, Your Honor.
Corporal Jones on the first appearance docket?
Anything?
No, sir, that's everything.
No.
Okay, and Ms. Bremer, nothing else on the first appearance docket?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, come on up, please.
Oh, we got some.
Mr. McDaniel, we
still got some
have
more
one of the
action.
cases set for trial Monday, Miss Jessica Falgout, case 23-608 MM. Miss Falgout missed court Wednesday, but supposedly had a medical emergency with her husband or fiance, I'm not sure. And Mr. McDaniel asked that we just pass your case today. I told him I needed some medical documentation of why you
I
missed
gotta go
court.
see
So
it.
tell me what you have, please, or show me what you have.
Show me what you're working with.
The paper stating that he had surgery.
So what happened?
He
They hand that to the sergeant, please.
he amputated, he had an accident with a table saw.
And when was
He
this?
said amputated, it's horrible. I couldn't tell you exactly. A few days prior to that, I took him to Jackson. They temporarily stitched him up and put a certain bandage on that got hard. So he had to have emergency surgery because they found out he severed the tendons, cut through and through his middle finger twice and cut his nerve. So we had to go to Tallahassee for
Okay,
surgery on that.
okay. And the incident happened this week? The actual injury? This doesn't say when it happened. So I don't know if this was something that happened in December or.
No, it very recent. I didn't bring that,
You don't remember when it happened?
Oh, we're questioning if this just happened.
like within the last week, yeah.
It was within the last week?
Yes.
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So Mr. McDaniel, she's provided some documentation. I don't have any reason to doubt what she's saying. So as far as scheduling, we've got her set for trial next week. Does that need to stay the same, Mr. McDaniel?
Correct.
Ms. Bremer?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So let me see. I'm not sure if she may already have a notice for next week. Let me look at the file and see.
Man. Oh,
She has a notice to appear for 9 a.m. next Monday. Mr. McDaniel, your other cases you wanted here at 8:30. You want her to be given one for 8:30?
That's fine. Or, yeah, Ms. Falcon, just be here at 8:30, would you? So that way you're here in plenty of time.
Monday at 8:30 for jury selection. Any questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Falcon, if you're available sometime later this morning, I was going to meet with you.
Maybe some coffee.
My assistant to talk with you. If you're available, maybe around 10:30.
Ooh, boy, because a few of his fingers. Oh, I could only imagine. Quick story, in my high school back in the day, you had you could either do shop, doing like carpentry type stuff, or you can do shop that is like automotive. And I was in the carpentry class, and we had been preached to over and over and over about being safe and this, that, and the other. And about 2 months into the class, the shop teacher cut his finger off. Needless to say, I didn't take any more of his gap about what I should do. You were cutting his damn finger off. Yeah, that I don't know. I was kind of sus on that, but I don't know. Maybe she's telling the truth. I hope so, because that's a terrible thing to lie about. Or you can be just like Bob and come in there and say that's what he gets. That's what he deserves. I think the worst thing I ever did was like I'm Southern, so I run around barefoot all the time. It's nice weather. Feel the dirt and grass betwixt your toes. And I was running into a house that had like brick steps, and the bricks were old, so they were kind of jagged a little bit, and the bottom of my foot like caught part of it. So right underneath where your toe kind of connects to your foot, you got like that little ridge. That little ridge caught that brick and ripped it back. So it was just like dangling. They patched that up. A lot of people are just cutting off tips of their fingers, man. You guys are something else. The memories. The memories, too. I'm a fan of those. Hello, Victoria. Glad you're here. Just in time. Just in time for me to say hello to Time Lady. Yeah. I guess that would be called. It was called Painful, too. It was just awful. Blood everywhere. Awful. What's not awful? Later on today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we have another premiere for Court happening. I hope to see everybody there. We usually have a huge crowd in there having a really good time. We'd love to see you there for that over on Credence and Mikey, as well as videos premiering all day over on We Got a Case. Well, really not premiering, they're more uploaded, so you'll be able to find them. Tonight, members only on the main channel. Yeah. Thanks for the memories. 5:30 Eastern, main channel, Credence and Mikey. Come on over, hang out. It's going to be a hoot nanny, a shindig. We're going to get up in there and cut loose. You know what I'm talking about, right? Of course you do. Let's take a second now to thank these wonderful people who not only opened up their hearts, they opened up their wallets. And for that, I'm grateful. Because without you, I can't sit here every day. I can't. I could, but I would probably be looking at a blank screen with no internet. The first appearance, Friday Express. Chris coming in, kicking us off with them gifts. KCC, welcome back. Pew pew, Sue, welcome. Chris, bye-bye, thank you. KC, oh, good to see you. Yeah, the one-legged bandit coming in. Good to see, thank you. Matt Dreamweaver, Sweet Tate, the gift whisperer on the caboose. How'd you figure that out, Sweet Tate? How do you know how to get somebody? Chloe, though, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I tell people about you all the time. I even told my YouTube manager about you. Yeah, that's right. I got a YouTube manager. Your boy's big time. What else is big time? You guys. I need you to stay safe. Till the next time. I need you to stay hard. Till the next time. I need you to stay tuned to the next time. Because when I come back at 4:05, We Gotta Chase Florida Friday. By God, it's going to be off the hook. Top guy out.
Scissor me, Daddy!
So let's get funky like a monkey. You know that I'm the cream.